If you and I are fighting about like this, I'm not looking over there. I think cannabis is like the opposite, right? So instead of fight juice, it's like happy juice. I've seen amazing connections happen with people who I can't imagine in a normal world. I've seen a lot of like good connections come from cannabis. And my conspiracy is that they don't want us to be so peaceful amongst each other. That is the most fun shot I've ever seen in my life.
We're gonna find out.
I don't even know if you're supposed to shoot it, but
I don't think you are. It's supposed to be for like mixed
Sipping?
drinks.
I mean, you smell it?
Yeah, I do.
It smells good, actually.
Theoretically,
Can I see the bottle?
Yeah.
Just.
It is a
for my
nice
general-
presentation.
Yeah, I thought it was like a Casamigos bottle. Ooh, thank you. Thank you. What an arrival. Wow.
Oh, did you want
no, I'm good with this.
Ditch the booze, keep it fun. I love that. Look at me doing a little ad for them. Cute.
What's it called? It's called Nowadays. It smells like fruit punch. Or like,
Cheers.
cheers.
Oh.
What are they trying to do? Just like create more
Cheers.
occasions for. But you can't sell that at like a bar, probably,
No,
right?
no, not for now. SLA wants nothing to do with cannabis.
Yeah,
right
but
now.
this is just like the cans. It's the same thing.
Does it taste like? What does it taste like?
It tastes
Lemon?
like that. It tastes like the fucking heirloom shit.
Tastes like
Just
clear.
not. It's just not carbonated.
Just had a mint. So this is a
Tastes
bad.
like clear. Clearness. Nothing really to
It's
it.
2 milligrams a shot.
Tastes like
I
clear.
got tolerance to the
Yeah,
roof.
I know.
So
I know. I'm assuming.
Tastes like you're definitely supposed to mix it in a drink.
Yeah.
That's what it tastes like.
it's not bad. It's not,
No.
okay,
It's
me
not.
too.
I'm gonna do another one.
All right.
Give me a big glass. Give me a big boy glass.
No, I'm not gonna sip on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, listen, 2 milligrams do nothing to me.
5 mg is my number.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Why
She's
not?
like, oh, you're a little bitch.
That
say it,
bottle
but I
is
thought-
like,
Say it.
it was $60 for that bottle.
Was it really?
Yeah.
That just means you're normal.
You think?
Yeah.
All right. I'm definitely not normal. But
You're just more normal.
maybe.
You're more sane, maybe.
5 mg. That's my number. That's what like a can.
Oh.
Like we like the heirlooms.
Oh, I'm really jealous of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what do you need?
I smoke from like the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed.
Well, tell us about your
Yeah.
weed world.
Okay.
I mean, you
well,
know.
oh boy. About my world.
You good with that or you want me to put it close?
Definitely.
No, I think now I moved it, right? Is
you
this
good?
yeah.
Let me just do this.
Thank you. Sorry. I'm like sitting here like finagling with it.
If I
all
don't
right.
do that at least once, they don't pay me.
It's like the meme, like, oh, you guys are getting paid? Like
No. Barely. Barely.
barely.
Right.
It's so funny. No, my weed world. No, I mean, okay, well to start, like, yeah.
That's how we got aware. That's how
Yeah,
we became
uh-huh.
aware of you. He's
Oh,
really good
okay.
friends with Shelby.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I mean, it's funny because I've been around for a long time. So, I mean, in the event space, like I used to live in the city too. I grew up on Long Island though.
What part?
Like Long Beach, Oceanside.
Okay.
That was always my neck of the woods.
Cool.
It's a fun area.
It's something. It's interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that was always my neck of the woods. Well, it's funny because if anything, Oceanside has taught me like cannabis, if anything, is like the closest solve to like world peace, because like Oceanside can be interesting.
Yeah.
And like I'm like writing a movie right now. We do a lot of like studio production. Like we do a lot of like we're trying to get in more like we're very much in the creative space, like cannabis and culture. But Oceanside has had its like just like interesting pieces of history that when you retell it, it's a little weird. So cannabis. Well, oh my God, we're gonna get dark here. I don't want to get dark on you
Give us the
guys.
Cliff
Yeah.
Note version.
Well, like, I mean, I know recently, not even that long ago, it was probably right before COVID, like a kid was like stabbed in front of a pizza place that like we were like, that was like the spot to fight. Like that was like, I remember it like when I was in high school, like if you had like, I don't know, Oceanside was like,
Meet at the pizza place, 12 noon.
oh my God. Like I was just talking to my husband about this. Like, I felt like I have a lot of like violence PTSD from where I grew up for whatever reason. Like people were just so violent. And like I have just found in my professional and personal experience, cannabis tends to like bring everybody a little bit
Hell yeah.
more
Yeah.
together.
Absolutely.
And like people who would be like literally fighting outside
Yeah.
are like, oh, what you got over there? Like, oh, what are you smoking? And then they talk about like positive things. Like it's almost like they're aware of each other, so they're trying to be more respectful. I don't know. I've just noticed a lot of things like cannabis brings to like society that like
Yeah, booze makes people fight. Weed doesn't.
okay, I went out. I'm from Long Beach, Oceanside area. I grew up in Oceanside, but Long Beach was like my neck of the woods. And the amount of fights that would happen in the West End, like I think a normal night would be like 6 fights at least. That's like an average. Like
in like the middle of the street.
Yeah, why would they
2
pick a public
bouncers.
place?
Sorry.
Why would
do
they
you
pick a public place, like in front of a pizza shop?
Because I don't think they don't fucking schedule them. It's like, all right, listen,
These are
Robbie,
also,
I
like,
really don't like
children.
you. We're gonna fight.
Like-
in an hour and a half. I'll see you behind the building where there's no cops.
Oh, bullshit.
That's how it works.
We timed it. We went to this fucking Sneaky Shoe. We all said meet at the Sneaky Shoe at 8
To
o'clock.
fight?
Jimmy's fighting fucking Johnny.
I think he's right about
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of that.
Yeah,
There was a little bit of that. Yeah, you're right. You're right. All
Yeah,
right.
kids. I'm like,
I
these
take
are
it
like
back.
children. These are like high school kids, like organizing fights. Yeah, shit. And Oceanside, I remember there was. I was in a fight once. Ugh. But yeah, Oceanside was like I don't know. But back to like West End of Long Beach or even Rockville Center, like the like strip of bars. Like I remember when I used to. I don't drink anymore, but when I did, we would frequent those bars and like it was a normal night. Like oh, another guy's getting into a fucking brawl in the middle of the street with the bouncer who's 7 times his size.
Yeah.
Sounds like
It's like a fucking war zone.
Yeah, right.
On Friday night,
I lived that
Saturday
life for a
night.
little while.
And like I actually was like, I'm glad I'm talking about this on camera. I was like kind of involved in this like it was more of a campaign in Long Beach to try to convince them to opt in to like legal retail sales. What a joke that was. They have no interest. And like part of it was the police commissioner, city manager, whatever. They were like, oh, how do we train our officers to like deal with this? Like deal with what?
Yeah.
Like people going home at 10 o'clock to lay in their bed? Like
People getting hungry.
yeah, they're gonna go like half your fights, I think, would be like, especially like the West End of Long Beach, like would kind of just go away because instead of fighting, people would be like, nah.
It's crazy. It's crazy that they don't like nobody makes that connection. Like alcohol is like crazy juice. You know?
Crazy juice.
It's crazy.
And it's
I like
the
that.
exact opposite with cannabis.
Yeah, but all
Yeah.
those people drink alcohol, and all those people were told that weed was bad for fucking.
Oh, you
40
mean like the
years.
officials and like the police
Yeah.
officers and shit?
They
Yeah, you might be
grew
right.
up with weed was bad.
Plus, I have like crazy conspiracies behind the scene that like
No,
there's money being
I
changed
think that
hands
too.
and shit like that.
I
you
think
know?
that too. I think like if you go conspiracy level, like there's an existing infrastructure
Right.
of like alcohol and like
People
the
make
state
money.
liquor authority, and like there's zillions of dollars. They haven't figured out how to do that yet with weed, but they will. They will.
My conspiracy is that like they know how peaceful it can keep people, and like where I feel like I now limit all the like internet consumption. Ironically, I'm in media, but yet I try to watch very little of it.
It drives you crazy.
Because I also just think they want everyone to fight.
Think so?
It's easier if everyone's fighting.
Interesting.
They want everybody to hate each other.
Yeah, if you and I are fighting about like this, I'm not looking over there.
That's a good point.
We're too busy getting so like, and I think cannabis is like the opposite, right? So like instead of fight juice, it's like happy juice. Everybody's like, oh, like we should, like I've seen amazing connections happen like with like people who I can't imagine in a normal world, like I don't know, but like I've seen a lot of like good connections come from cannabis, and my conspiracy is that they don't want us to be so peaceful amongst each other.
Well, that like ties into the medicinal purpose of it too. Like the same thing with like Pharma doesn't want it to be a big deal because they're making money. They want you on their stuff too.
I think it's just a matter of time until like Pfizer has its own weed brand, and
Well, that's what it's going to take.
just
That's what
ultimately,
happens if
yeah.
you deschedule.
Yeah.
So like, and that's why I can be controversial in my way, but I try to, I don't know, just keep it real.
You can say what the
And,
fuck
like,
you want to say here. I mean, we don't.
I am who I am. At this point, I've learned
got
enough that
no,
I just am who I am. But if they deschedule, so okay, part
what
of
do you mean? Meaning that like take it off the schedule?
federally speaking. So yeah, this is what I'm concerned about. This is why I think that this is all kind of nuts, because federally speaking, like that's who kind of rules this all. Yikes! I didn't expect to talk about this today. But so right now it's a Schedule 1 narcotic, which like is the same as a Quaalude. Like that's like you can like die off of Quaaludes. Sure. Like I've smoked enough weed to know that you can't die.
Like love Quaaludes. And like everybody's uncle and dad were like, bro, Quaaludes are fucking shit.
They also like did Mad Coke and danced a shit ton.
That's fun.
At disco nights, yeah.
You know? There's something to be said about that, but definitely not as safe as weed.
No, right. Like
definitely not as safe.
I mean, listen, I know, but like I have smoked enough weed to know that you are not going to die from it, because I probably.
I've done enough coke to know that you probably will. That's why I don't do it anymore.
Well, and actually, so you talk about medicinal, I always say that wrong. Like medical purposes. Like I was on a lot of Adderall when I was like younger. I was like
they say that's like coke. And like giving it to 13-year-olds.
Yeah, I mean, I was 23, so luckily I was like still an adult and like kind of had like consciousness.
You were trying to study a lot, right?
I was working. I worked in fashion, so like that was just like a crazy industry altogether. Like you had to be like this all the time. So to keep up, literally, I was like and it was prescribed to me, got delivered to my office. I paid $15 a month for like 90 pills, and I'm 5'10". I was like 90 pounds. Yeah. I was a crazy person. And I remember like my mom like seeing it for whatever reason. My mom's like super like anti everything. Like she like wouldn't let us take like Advil as a kid. Like, and so she was like, "This is meth," and I was like, "Fuck you, mom!" Like, and but it is like it does have a methamphetamine in it. So. And I feel like, I mean, this is also conspiracy, but like, I feel like Adderall like left like a weird like hole in my brain. Like that's the best way I can describe it.
Well, how long were you taking it? A long time?
3 years.
Yeah.
Every day. You know?
I feel like every girl in my college was taking it. And I don't mean to say, but I feel like it was a girl drug.
It's easy. It's just like convenient. It's not like it's in a regular pill bottle. It doesn't look like, it just looks like you're taking like you're just, and mine got delivered with like a cute, I remember the bag. I would keep them because they were cute. And
maybe that's why girls did it. It came in cute bags. I don't know.
And they made it super easy to deliver it right to the front of my office, like in my building. Like I worked in the city, so like they would just deliver it. It would be like a nice person. Wow. It was like the best delivery service ever. And like, it was so easy. And I was like $15 because it was like covered by insurance. And then I remember going to the doctor and being like ready for like a whole like a whole spiel. Like,
I was going to ask you, what they ask you to get it?
You lose focus, right? Or you need to focus.
I was like, I work in fashion, and he was like, you want Adderall?
Here's some Xanax for the bad days. We need to come down.
Yes. I mean, like I actually have never done Xanax, but like my cousin had, and like that's like to watch that, like watch somebody go through that. I don't know, that was wild.
I've got a prescription for Xanax. I use it very, very sparingly. Like, like let's say if I got a prescription for Xanax filled like for 20 pills, that could last me like a year.
Wow, good for you.
I've used it like for what it's for.
Yeah.
Like if you really, really fuck, because weed doesn't help me like that. But I think it's like anything else. It's like you gotta know like what your system can handle.
Absolutely.
And then you gotta know like for what are the reasons why you're doing what you're doing. And if you're doing anything like habitually to escape, you're in trouble.
So it's funny because I'm always like a consumption of choice. Like I've always been like whatever gets you through. Like as long as it's not like, I've had a lot of friends who've overdosed. Like I have a laundry list. Oceanside was big on heroin, and probably still is. I don't know, but as long as it's not like affecting your like, I'm kind of like, listen, like. We're all gonna die one day anyway, so like.
No, but I think I heard somebody actually define addiction like in that way, to where like addiction is a habit that is you can't stop doing that's negatively impacting your life, and I think that like You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the caveat to where like if whatever you're doing is giving you a positive result, then you should keep doing it.
I'm so glad that we actually have talked about this because this has been a thought lately, and I'm gonna try it out and I'm gonna see how it goes. I think we all have dopamine addictions.
Definitely.
So and
3,000%.
that affects everybody's day to day.
This has fucking took it into fucking the stratosphere.
That is literally, and like, because I don't know, now I plan a lot of events and I'm constantly like trying to figure out what the human likes. That's the constant question in my brain. And I can't keep up. And I don't know if anybody can.
Well, if you're an entrepreneur, you're probably a fucking super dopamine addict to begin with before you even get to any of the substances.
Well, and I come from a world where like addiction, like I am definitely like if somebody like, I said I smoke from the moment I wake up to the moment I sleep. Like if someone tracked my like habits, you would absolutely classify me as an addict. Like I get mean if I like don't smoke. But ask my husband.
He's like, let's not test it out. Just give her what you want.
No, give her whatever you want. You want the bottle? You want the bottle?
You know what? I'm here.
Big glass.
No, yeah. But I would also be probably I've gone to therapy. I've gone the constructive way because I was on Adderall, so I completely weaned myself off it.
Was it hard to get off?
So I have a very unconventional, I feel like I hypnotized myself. It was like a year's worth. And I had a couple really, really low points that I can recall. One of them is I had went on a date and I talked for 45 minutes straight without a breath, and this guy was looking at
murder you.
He wanted to. He looked at me like, "What the fuck?"
That's one of those where you gotta be like,
menu goes up like
I just
this.
have to go to the bathroom. I'll be
got
right
out
back.
there so fast.
Tell the guy I want a beer.
This isn't your husband.
No, this was
Didn't work out.
No, yeah, my husband's still around, thank God. No, this was 8-9 years ago now. I've been married 3 years, so.
Good for you.
Thank you. Yeah, we do this totally together. We have a very his husband and wife everything. Right. So yeah, I get mean about it.
I like, especially in recent years, I like the liquid better than smoking.
I think public's used to it.
Yeah.
And I think it's a normal it's.
Well, I've been smoking since I'm 11 years old. I'm 42. So I mean, I just for some reason, I like that better. It hits me better. It lasts longer.
Cool.
And I don't know.
Lasts longer.
It lasts.
I've heard that with edibles with people.
But you got to do the right dosage. I think it's easy to control smoke. Smoke you don't get too fucked up too fast.
Yeah, it doesn't last as long either, right?
It does. I don't think so.
And you can kind of just oh wow, I'm high.
Stop.
I'm gonna stop.
Yeah. With this, if you go too far, you're fucking hiding in pillowcases.
That's what I think
and
is
shit.
dangerous about this is that you keep on drinking, you don't really feel the high is different than smoking.
Yeah, but
Alcohol's the same way.
if you know
Yeah.
Completely.
if you understand the dosage, 3 shots would be 6 milligrams.
But that's
when
the
you're
biggest.
smoking, you're not understanding the dosage, you're just smoking.
But that's the biggest.
Yeah, but
warning.
like she's saying, you could stop.
But that's the biggest warning on those. Anything you consume is it tells you to wait and not think it's not working.
Who's waiting? Who the fuck is
Well, but that's a
waiting?
whole other thing too. When you're doing this, you got to have a different head about you than when you're drinking. You
Right.
sit at a bar and you're sipping whiskey. You can sip 3 or 4 whiskeys in an hour or two.
Yeah.
And you can't do that with that.
Maybe.
We're gonna try
Depends.
I mean, you might.
Yeah, I definitely. Well, so edibles don't hit me as hard as I could drink that whole thing and I'd probably be a little sleepy.
Yeah.
Edibles for me, I don't know. I just have a tolerance, I think, at this point through the roof. But my contradictory to all of this is actually if you were to break that down to where it came from. So at some point that was in a flower product. So it was literal flower. That strain has more to do with your effects than a milligram dosage does.
Yeah.
So everyone thinks that there's 2 milligrams. That is still that's up for interpretation, because like there's no hard way. Like between my husband and I, like
you know your shit.
Yeah, we've been in here a long time.
Tell us, man. Tell us.
And we know a lot about the plant. And they like every professional chef that I've met has always had like the same, like, I don't know how to actually like measure it in terms of, and nobody does, because the milligrams, you could talk about the strain, you can talk about like even like THC percent doesn't matter because it can degrade over time. So it's more about the genetics and the strain. So like, for an example, like a haze would be like much headier. You'd probably feel more like awake and uppity, where like something like I don't know, like a diesel might feel you like a little bit more like in the couch. So it depends on like the genetics of the plant too. So, and that's where I think everyone is slow to that party.
Now, like that same feeling doesn't come through when it gets like cooked down or however they make it into this type of stuff.
That's where this all becomes foreign to me, because I've always been like, I've always been a flower girl. Like that's like, I love that term. But like a flower, I've just always been a flower. I've really never, even when I was younger, like edibles were like whatever to me. Like I've done a couple, like we made our own brownies and stuff. So we always did it, but I always preferred to smoke. And it's okay. The argument is like, oh, I don't want fentanyl in my weed. I hate that. Because you will know, like if you're talking about weed.
People put fentanyl in weed?
I was gonna say, is that the new scare? Because
that's the new scare.
Is
that's
it really?
like, yeah, that was like a propaganda thing that went around for a while for like why you should like shop legal, which like we should shop, like it should be legal, but like let's not sit here and like further like fear monger into shit. Like,
oh, so they're doing that shit on purpose.
Yeah, of course. No.
Right.
This is like to like promote. Yeah, no. But also like if fentanyl is white, weed as a plant is green, maybe a little purple, maybe a little orange if you want to get like, into the craft. But
it's
like
not white.
But what you were saying though, like, so you can't really make the same equation
and
anything that's made that way like edible.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it could be that's where it's like we don't like, and that's actually kind of like my question sometimes, like with legal products, like not to shit on the legal system, but I just think that it needs to have like better products in there.
Oh, sure, because it hasn't been run through the whole FDA world.
Even if you like the FDA,
not to say that they're so fucking credible either.
That's when Pfizer gets good, yeah. But like we don't know nobody knows like how that was extracted.
Right.
We don't know where that flower came from, and like they're not really giving that transparency. So that's where I kind of like sit here, like I can't vouch for that. Like, listen, I'll smoke and I'll drink anything. I'm really not picky myself. But
but I understand what you're saying.
I'm trying to like the extraction, like even like concentrates.
From a quality standpoint, it's hard to determine.
Yeah.
What they're doing, how they're doing it. Yeah, I get it.
Isn't that what gas stations were selling first too?
What?
The THC blends, like the cutting of the strain, and
Like
then it
the
went to like
Delta
smoke
8
shops.
shit?
They're like they smell like all sorts of like edible like pill form.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't
Nobody
vouch.
does.
I don't know. So like that's where I get like I don't fucking know what we're talking about anymore. But like because I know about flower, I know like the natural form of it.
You can
like
tell.
You can grow this. I grow a plant. At least one. Last year I did 3. This year I only did 1. And in my backyard, like out in the sun, just to show like everybody could do it. It's literally just like a measly plant. And when you see it, I have a literal like garden bed. I had my tomatoes on this side. I had my weed on this side. I had squash and lettuce.
That's cool.
So like when you have it together, it's like, wow, this is just like a simple little plant. Like
sure.
Everyone's so scared of this.
Yeah. Right.
Like it does get a little smelly. I'm not gonna lie, but like it's. When you look at it, you're like, wow.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Not to like shit on edibles or like anything. It's just that like, that's not what I have been vouching for this whole time. I've been vouching for this product that like we know is real. We know is like, you can just look at it and know that it's like, oh, if it has mold on it, no. Like don't like, and I've compared it to like a tomato. So like.
And I'd imagine that there's plenty of people getting into it for the wrong reasons.
That's the whole.
Because it's just the
It
money.
also feels like all those edibles and all this extra stuff, the drinks and everything, is like making it saturated anyway. It is supposed to be about weed.
It's trying to get to the mass market, right? So like people are used to drinking. Like this looks, I was thinking about it just now. I'm like, this looks normal to people.
Right.
Like me sitting here with a shot glass.
You sitting with a joint
would be like, oh my God. Like, so I get the whole like, okay, we got to convince the world that it's normal and it's fine. But like sometimes I've had edible products and I've just been like, was that weed? Like, you don't know. Like,
that's a good point.
Right.
That's a good point. It does seem today too, like it's becoming more and more about the marketing of it.
Definitely.
Well, but like
packaging and whatever, sure. And that's
that's what everything does.
Put it in cute little bags like the Adderall.
Make it shaped like Mike Tyson's ear.
Make it shaped like Mike Tyson's ear. Or the one he bit off.
Oh, that's the one. I had it wrong. You got it right.
So, and we've always been about the growers. So like that's where I'm like my like claim to fame, I guess. I've written stories and like done photography on like New York cultivators. I've always kind of done like legacy growers, like guys who've been doing it for 30 years and like got arrested. I recently did one for like Route 27, who was one of the first legal farms.
Yeah, they were like a
New York grower. They
farm
are
for a little while, right?
Hops. They went hops, hemp. And then now they're cannabis. But like they have an establishment over there.
That's cool.
So like I'm always about the New York grower. Like if you are growing the product that like it's a plant. He's a farmer.
Right.
Like he's literally a farmer. Yeah. Like and that's it's cool. Yeah.
Cool. It's really cool.
Yeah. So
so like what's the story now? So it's legal. The state, it's legal in the state, then the towns have to like opt into it, right?
Town of Babylon did.
But the thing is
here.
that
this
like,
block.
Yeah, right here. Yeah.
Like right now, you can only sell products that were produced in the state.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't understand how half of the stuff that's in dispensaries are there, and I know that it's like everyone's afraid of like being retaliated against. I don't give a shit.
Retaliated
anymore.
like by the government, like the federales.
I don't think we're there yet. I hope we're not there yet. But like there is like the Office of Cannabis Management, and like I don't know. I've heard stories. I don't know anything. So like I am not like, but they're like. I don't know what my point here was actually, but before I start
like
shooting
what
on
they
the
have
OCM.
what you're saying, what they have, how they have what they have in the dispensaries, as it relates like it being grown in New York.
The right way is you need a legal cultivator or micro business that has just recently been allowed, but you need a legal cultivator to go through a legal processor who then brings it to the lab or. I can't remember if it's whatever. They bring it to a legal distributor. I think the distributor brings it to the lab, and then they distribute it to a legal dispensary. Each part
all in state.
All within New York. Yeah, right.
But not forever. Just for a certain amount of time.
That is supposed to be how it is.
Oh, okay.
That's like supposed to be the chain of command. Like I believe under the MRTA. I know more about the like on-site stuff than I know about like the dispensary and whatever.
So you're theoretically not supposed to get through a New York State dispensary cannabis from California.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, right. That is federally illegal.
Okay. But now what's that like Camino, like those edibles?
I think that's
and all
New York.
Stuff? That's New York.
So and this is where I get confused, and this is where I'm like, I sit here and I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. I'm like, I thought I knew everything, and then every time I turn around, I'm like, wait, I don't. Like there's a bunch of like brands that are here that are like Cali brands. Like these are absolutely Cali brands. Like I've been to Cali, I've been to dispensary. They are like if you go on their Instagram, it says California. So my understanding is that they license the name to a processor here, and then that's the legal way to do it.
Well, it's like made in America. It only has to be assembled in America in order for it to be deemed made in America.
Right.
So there's all sorts of loopholes for that type of stuff.
And like
kind of shitty. Huh? It's kind of shitty.
It's the way the game is played.
And well, in New York right now, you're only allowed to cultivate outdoors technically.
How does that work?
In New York.
It's only warm for like a couple months.
You get one harvest?
Yeah, but that's like what, from when we started this conversation, my personal take on this whole thing is that it's like everything else. It's like you got, like, there's no version of people in the government that are like, yeah, this is really good for you. We want to make it available for the people. No, it's just another commodity that needs to get labeled and tagged and fucking put through the stream. But devil's advocate, like being positive, is like, okay, That's the way power works. That's the way. That's the way control is.
So disgusting.
It's always been that way. But once we get past all of that, it's available for people to have, and societally it's becoming more acceptable, and the net result is a positive. But to try to play the game of like the process of how it comes to market, never gonna win. It's never gonna be. It's never gonna be a fair fight.
That's
how they keep you distracted. As long as you're getting the weed and the edibles.
Yeah, but it's like
you don't care how it came.
I mean,
that's actually kind of what I but it's kind of what I think because okay, so my whole thing is like I've been called like Rage Against the Machine. I'm like I'm all for like people. I'm not about government. I'm not about corporations. And like I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck anymore. Like I'm a small business. I have a child. Like I care more about other people like me than I care about some like giant corporation that like I don't care anymore. They don't circulate back into the economy the way a small business does. So, but sorry, wait, I had a point here. What did you just say?
I don't know, the drink's working.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess these 2 little milligrams.
That's how they hide it. They're distracting us with getting us what we want, and so we don't see the behind the scenes type thing.
They're controlling it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's. I don't know. Actually, I totally lost where I was going.
This is an ad for nowadays.
Nowadays.
Makes you think of any day.
Works real fucking good.
Totally forget what you're talking about.
That's the slogan, right?
Seemed great.
Nowadays, live in the moment.
Forget what you're talking about.
That's a good one. I always said my presidential slogan would be "Everyone just shut up."
Give me a second here so I can fucking think.
Oh wait, I do on all of that. I actually ended up remembering what I was saying, and my actually like Rage Against the Machine is that they never stopped criminalizing the plant. They just wanted to collect their tax money from it. Sure. Because my argument is that New York is I'm not gonna even say kind of anymore. I don't give a shit. It is anti-consumption because, and that's gonna cause a little hoopla. But okay. The argument is that you can smoke weed anywhere you can smoke cigarettes. So who wants to smoke outside in 17-degree weather right now? That's my question. Because you can't technically smoke inside in New York City. Long Island's actually a different ballgame there. But so they want you to buy a product at a dispensary and bring it home and smoke it privately in your own home.
Stay there.
But if you did that with alcohol, you would have a problem, right? Like if you went home, you bought it and went directly home to like go drink in your like comfort of your home, you would be considered an alcoholic. Yep. Okay, but imagine now a world where the only way to buy alcohol is like at a beer
it's
distributor.
Not served in restaurants. It's not served publicly as a social.
That could
all.
never happen.
Yeah, but that's why what I'm saying is that like it's just a political game of like we need to fucking because it's like the state liquor authority. Yeah. Like my brother-in-law is from the Dominican Republic, and we were at Strange Stars the other day. And he was like, it's so weird that they don't have like an area for like people to sit and smoke and drink these things.
There will be weed
and like
bars.
what I said to him was it's the same thing as you go to a cigar lounge, and like he said the same thing to me. We went to a cigar lounge smoking cigars, and we bring in our own little whiskey. And he's like, I don't understand. Why don't they have fucking waitresses here fucking serving? I mean, people are paying $20, $30 a fucking cigar. Why wouldn't you go the whole? But that's not the law here. Is like everybody's got to take their little piece. No, and they're gonna do the same. They're gonna do the same thing with weed. Of course they are.
Are they like coming up with a consumption license, or it's not even on the table?
So under the MRTA, the Marijuana Regulation Taxation Act, there is a separate license for on-site consumption that allows sales the same way as a bar.
I believe it'll happen.
I mean, listen, you'd be the first restaurant that sells weed as an appetizer?
Sure, but I think I think that like you want to talk about the conspiracies, that's what they're gonna lobby most against.
Well, that's what they don't want.
Because you're out in public?
No, just because there's people that want to continue to make the money the way they make the money in those places, and they don't want another distraction from that, whether it's the liquor industry or whatever.
Yeah, but I think it'll be like, I don't think it like they'll pretend and they'll argue that it's morality, like what you said. They'll pretend and they'll say that like, well, our officers are not going to know how to bust people coming out of fucking marijuana.
No, that's what I mean.
But the real
how do we give them DUIs?
The real truth is they just have to figure out the logistics of how to break up the profit margin.
Because I'll argue.
So that you can all right, this is what it costs to sell it to the bar. This is just like the way the bars are regulated.
Well, it's the
like
same
a bar
thing.
Can only sell alcohol at a certain profit margin.
Well, that's what when she was just saying how many people it has to pass through. It's like the margin must be so low for
they
the
get
guy
taxed.
that's fucking growing it. You know, like he must be
Right.
So
killed.
where do you think it's
It's
really
just like
coming
every
from?
agricultural product, you know?
Absolutely.
Well, it's commodities, but money's not big. Margin is not big on commodities. Commodities is all about volume.
Well, I actually see it as a luxury product.
Well, it's a luxury product. I think the way that what you're doing and people that are in the universe that you're in that are creating experiential stuff around it, artisanal strains, like, but when you
more
break
events,
it down to brass tacks, it's a commodity.
Absolutely, just the same way that alcohol would be.
Yes,
or
100%.
coffee. Actually,
100%.
I prefer comparing it to coffee because coffee, in order for it to actually have its working properties, psychoactive properties, it needs to be roasted. Similarly to cannabis. If you eat just like a coffee bean that hasn't been roasted, it's just a little snack. If you eat a cannabis plant just like a shish kebab,
Have you ever done that?
that would be disgusting, and you would also never get high.
The shish kebab reference is sick.
That's how I imagine it. Just like
That's
a.
what it looks like. You're right. You're right.
It does look like that.
You're right. before the cutting process.
Yeah, right. Like I have one that I grew in the closet and I forgot about, and so I had a drying, and I just now have it as like a bouquet display in my house, and I cannot believe how long it's lasted. But it literally, like, you would just, if you were to eat it, it would be like a shish kebab. But you would not get high because it's not been roasted. So it's a commodity in the same way that like coffee is. And like coffee has its really luxurious, expensive coffee.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
And then it also has like this crap you could buy from Starbucks. You know? So that's where, So
Eventually, that's what it'll get to.
But am I right in
That's
what
what
I
it's
said
supposed to
before
get to.
about
Sorry.
there's an agreed upon margin?
What do you mean?
Like if you like at a restaurant, like don't they control the margin?
No.
Are you sure about that?
For alcohol?
Yeah.
No.
No?
they jack that shit up.
There's a world
margin on what you sell it
There's a
at?
world where the margin on alcohol is controlled.
No. Not in this country or
No?
state. No.
Why do I think
It's,
this?
the way
about
it's
the
controlled, which I guess is similar to what cannabis is too, is it's like a 3-tiered system. That's what I'm saying.
The
Where
distributor, the fucking the license of the type of place that can sell it.
like the craft brewer who sells it himself and creates experience in his brew pub or whatever you want to call it. They're making the most money there and they're controlling everything.
Because
but
that's
they
the
have
luxury
to keep
product.
passing it through to like the wholesaler,
Craft.
the client, you know, the customer, and
Because luxury, I think, is more about experience than it is about product quality.
I think it could be both.
It then definitely can be both.
I was a manager at Louis Vuitton in college, and
Would you say that Louis Vuitton product is really good or it's not? Because the marketing obviously is good.
they do have good stuff, and it is well made. And I sew, so like I can like. There's definitely like a difference between like just fast fashion shit and like hand sewn like products.
The seams and stuff and the leather that's on a Louis Vuitton bag is going to be substantially different than a
Most of
Marc
it's
Jacobs
canvas, actually. It's not even leather, but.
bag. What about like a $150,000 Birkin bag? Is that?
Oh my God! My husband and I, we've literally just been talking about this, like about the Birkin bags, because they just did a like 60-minute the 60-minute like show on it, and like why it's like $10,000 plus.
So outside of the, it's classic
that is.
marketing.
Birkin bag?
It's
Don't even know what that is.
fucking classic. It's been around for forever. French ladies in 1967 had them. But my question is similar to the alcohol conversation. Is like you'll have like a $200 bottle of bourbon and you have a $2,500 bottle of bourbon. So the Louis Vuitton bag for let's say $3,500 and the Birkin bag for $100,000 is the quality can't be.
So I had this like kind of conversation because. Like an Hermes Birkin, when you look at the construction of it, it's very well made. Like it's handmade.
Definitely.
It has all these little pieces of it, so you know, and it's like it's made to sustain, and it's a beautiful leather. But I kind of went down a rabbit hole with it the other day because Walmart like did like their own dupe of it. It was like and they call it like a workin' for the working class.
That's awesome. That's smart. That's fucking smart.
But they took it off immediately because it
got
drew.
sued, probably.
Oh, I don't know. It was a close dupe, but I don't know. I'm sure Hermes has this problem all the time because I'm sure they have copies. Sure. So I don't really know. Whatever. But I kind of watched this conversation happen of like. Okay, the 60-minute episode about Hermes, about the Birkin, was that like in order to be able to buy one, you had to have had like a repertoire with Hermes for a little while. So you've had to have already like made a bunch of purchases, like showing that you
it's just
basically have that.
allocations. It's just like fucking luxury watches. It's still the same shit.
Right. And so, but they're super special because only the super special. So the conversation kind of went on is that like, is luxury only luxury if it's exclusive, meaning I can have it and you can't?
I think that's part of it. I mean, especially in today's day and age, in the internet day and age, where like, I think that is a huge part of it.
And that's actually kind of started to like bug me a little bit because I'm all about like, I'm used to being othered, you know, like, and I'm trying to like create like inclusive spaces. And like, I don't know, now it's like coming from the fashion world too. I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh my God, like what, like, I'm here talking about look, weed's a luxury product, but like, what is a luxury product? Just the ability to like say that I have it and you don't, and that holds value. I think that's wild to me.
I don't know though. I think it's the way that it's made has a lot more to do with it.
But I think there's a scale though. There's a scale.
price.
Like there's like if there's two charts, right, and you're comparing two fucking products, and you have one that's like mass produced, machine made, or made in China, or whatever you want to call it, and then you have another one that's handmade and it's attention to detail, whatever the product is. I think there's a scale. And like you compare the materials and you compare like durability, how long it'll last, you know, technical efficiency, whatever your fucking criteria is.
Well,
and then you have the line, and then you have marketing and the hype and exclusivity and all that kind of stuff that goes past. And then because that like aftermarket reselling and all that shit that I think has nothing really to do with quality.
So hearing you makes me kind of turn right back because cannabis is actually I think personally, it is a perfect example of quality that should promote luxury. Because like I've always kind of been with small craft growers who like, I mean, I'm talking about these are guys who are like, with their plants every single day, like they treat them better than their children. And like, that's the difference. Like, and when you can see, like we've seen a ton of weed, and like John and I can literally just like look at it and know basically where it came from. Like I'll know the difference immediately if it's Cali or not. And Long Island has a special. I always say it's like in the water a little bit because like weed that's grown here is like something to look at.
Really?
And I have some.
Well, it's like the parallel, like because I used to work in beer, and like they made hops, which is the same plant, same family, right?
I mean,
like they were trying to explain to us that like the parallel that New York sits on is very similar to like
no.
the parallel of like Napa Valley, where it's like right to grow things like this.
Really?
It's like wine.
Yeah.
It's just like wine. Like
exactly.
you have like these, you know, you have like the Napa Valley wineries that are like known for their or whatever. Long Island is known for their crosswinds, like Route 27, like they have good like crosswinds, literally because like the end of Long Island, similarly like wine. But then like especially indoor, you can actually isolate the environment. So you're not dealing with, so you're not going to use a pesticide because there are no pests.
Right.
You have a like airtight room. Like, so that they're in every single day, keeping that thing like clean.
That's interesting.
So I'm also, so my controversial self is that knowing all of this, I'm kind of like lab tests to me are dumb. And I don't think, like, do you lab test your food? No, you have site inspections. You make sure that and this would kind of solve a lot of problems that are probably that people have theories of going on, like where it's coming from. Well, we would know if we were inspecting the site. And like, I've seen grows that are not so great. And like seeing that, I'd be like, you know, maybe, or like same thing. If you saw a dirty kitchen, you'd be like, I probably don't want food from here. But you don't send every burger through a lab test.
Probably should.
Interesting.
Probably should.
But you go to like a nice fine steakhouse and you get a 200-pound like fucking wine list, and they will say, and you'll like French Bordeaux from wherever, and they. So, you know, and
where little African children step on the grapes.
Oh my God. But like they'll run you through like the notes, right? Like you'll have a sommelier come over and they'll be like, oh, are you looking for more bold? Or are you looking for oaky?
I love that experience with anything. I want it with weed.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Back to like the luxury piece of it too. It's like, that's what I was thinking about when you were talking about the bags and stuff like that. Like I've seen that experience of when you go to buy that. Like you can't just walk into the store and like, pick something off the shelf. It's like you're getting your own personal concierge. And that's what I wanted from these places around here, not to shit on them, but like it's like a fucking flea market in that
Yeah.
You know?
Well, because they don't need to be. Like
Yeah.
you go to
You're
that
right,
place,
you're
Strain
right.
Stars, and there's a fucking line outside on a Monday at noon.
Convenient.
And
Yeah.
so the guy that owns it is like, all right, what do I want? Where do I want to put my energy? If I want to put my energy, and this is a purely business thought
Yeah.
process. And I'm not saying that I think this is right or wrong, but it's like make sure the place is staffed, make sure my line of credit is good so I can buy product because people are coming to buy it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take my time and my energy and put it
thank you.
into curating this one of a kind experience because that's going to take time, money, energy, and I don't need to do it.
Absolutely.
Because I'm making, $800,000 a week right now.
I hear that. Okay, so in somebody who's been in
But
events,
that opens up opportunity for people like you.
absolutely. And I've been told over and over and over again that like the consumption space, the event space, like it doesn't make money, and like it's more about, so I that's like a long-term game, because I think right now it's a good like money maker, but eventually it's going to become more normalized, and eventually there's going to be a need for experiences. Like people aren't just going to go home and sit on their couches anymore. Like they're going to want like
It's definitely
something,
going to be a thing.
you know?
And the fact that you're doing it now, like you're putting yourself
We've always been ahead.
in the position. Yeah. It's just the game is you got to stay in.
not good.
You got to
Yeah.
stay in until.
Until being early isn't always the best, but but I actually kind of argue that, and this is I'm at the point where I'm ready to say that like I actually argue that dispensary model is more dangerous to the public, because if you're going to sit here and say that like you don't want people driving high, well, if they're picking up product from the dispensary and they're super excited about it because like, ooh, I just got like, whatever, like what's such, like they're probably gonna roll up in the parking lot and smoke and then drive home. Where if you had a like consumption lounge, you would be able to buy it, smoke it,
Chill out,
sit.
relax.
You know what? I'm gonna wait a little bit. You know
Get
what?
something
Let me
to
get
eat.
some water. Let me get something to eat, and then I'm good now. The same way you would at a bar.
Yep.
Imagine in a world where the only alcohol, which I'm sure COVID was kind of like this, but like the world where only alcohol you could get, it was from a like beer distributor, wine store, whatever, and you had to go home.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's, I don't know, you're right. I don't know. That sounds like trouble. Like,
Well,
I
plus
agree with you.
there's such a opportunity for it too, because it's like so many less people are drinking alcohol, but still want those like social experiences.
and that's where I think that like we're talking about like the SLA and stuff. Like I don't know. I don't want to like talk about it too much, but they like everyone's so concerned about like mixing, and like I don't
Mixing
know.
booze and weed. I've been doing it since the 80s.
I've been doing it, yeah. But like
It got tougher.
as he takes a sip.
Like, what's the concern?
Well, that
Shouldn't
people-
the concern
You
be
get more
more
fucked up.
Yeah, but shouldn't the concern, isn't that more the alcohol than it is the?
well, it just
knows?
teaches
What
you
is
that they
it?
don't know
Liquor
anything
before
either.
weed. No, weed before liquor. No, liquor
What?
before.
That's definitely not the same. That's not the same.
Not
I
weed.
think it's
Liquor
beer.
before
Beer before liquor. Yeah.
Yeah,
So there's
yeah,
no
it's like,
saying.
wait,
I
oh,
just make it.
Just made that up.
Liquor before we
even though
get
when
you high.
I used to drink, I used to throw up if I smoked weed after. If I was like really
Same,
drunk
same.
and I smoked weed, I would throw up.
But nowadays, I think in my older age, I'm able to do it in
I
a way
used
that
to be
I couldn't do it when I
fine.
was younger.
Now I can't do that.
you can't do that.
No,
Yeah,
if I
yeah.
drink and then smoke weed, I'm like,
You get
oh
loopy?
my God, I'm ready for death.
Death, yeah.
Death.
So I
And
don't
I've
drink
been-
anymore.
I've been smoking since forever. And it never bothered. I think because I got paranoid at a point. There was a point in my life where I started smoking weed and getting paranoid. That's why I don't really smoke.
I think that's one of the most beautiful
just
things
drink it
about
now.
weed. Like it's like a fight within yourself. Like you have to get through that.
What, that
That
anxiety?
yes.
Oh,
and I
dude.
feel like when you get to the other end, it's like triumphant.
There was definitely a point in my life
Is that
where,
like crazy?
wherever
No.
I walked into,
No.
I definitely thought everybody knew what I was thinking at all times. At all times, I'd be like, "Holy shit!" She
That's
knows
a hurdle
exactly what
for
I'm
you.
thinking. Yeah, it was.
That's a
tough
hurdle.
one.
That's deep in there.
That's
Yeah.
like
So now I do-
childhood. That's
So now I
childhood
do
trauma.
what you don't want. I get my alcohol and my weed, and I go home
you suppress it. Yeah,
In the garage.
in my garage, and then I smoke cigarettes.
I'll run a spectrum of that'll start with like every potential problem that I have in my life and every problem that I could have.
Oh, this would take so long. You got so many problems.
I know. And then I'll graduate to a place of where, no, nothing really matters, man. Everything is great.
When is that gonna happen?
No, but I'm saying in the experience of being high.
I get that.
Oh,
In the experience of being high.
Gotcha,
like
gotcha,
it starts, it does not always, but like when it gets to that paranoid place, it gets really fucking deep. It gets really like scary. It's like, oh my God.
But I don't like
I always
that whole
graduate.
process.
But I never stay there though.
Right.
And I kind of feel like it's one of the good things about weed. It's like you're kind of showing yourself to yourself. You're kind of like, like that paranoia is kind of like all your own bullshit. And then
it's rough.
The activity, like you get to a place where like, no. Nothing fucking matters, man.
I said I was hip.
We're on the same page?
No, I'm with you. Yes.
That happens on acid too.
Yes, that's like the Long Island me.
We got a similar crazy. No, yeah.
No, yeah.
These guys are like, you guys are
happens
fucking
on
nuts.
acid. It happens
And
on
mushrooms.
Well, that's okay. So
You like mushrooms?
I love mushrooms. That is the cure to like depression in my eyes, but for different reasons than people think. So I told you I like hypnotized my way off Adderall, and that was like also kind of that was like right before COVID. So like the world, I don't know how to explain it, but the whole world was like I felt like the whole world was starting to go like this.
Oh yeah.
So like
Yeah,
I
it
was like
was.
I need to like well no actually that was a different part, but this was actually a little bit before, and then this all happened. But I was like sober for it all. So I was like, it was almost like COVID was like the break I needed from the world. At the right time, I'm the only one who thinks that COVID was good for me.
It's all right. It's a good spin.
I had a great time.
I had a positive COVID experience.
Yeah.
I had 4 kids at my house.
Sorry, everybody. Sorry to all those who didn't make it.
I had 4 kids at my house, not learning anything.
Everything is perspective.
But how I got myself off Adderall was like very specifically, I would go into my car with a blunt down to the beach, and I would just kind of like roll it up by myself. Like I would leave my phone sometimes. Like I would literally just like unplug, and I was like, I had to solve my problems. I was such in a desperate state that I was like, I need to figure it out. And this is where also mushrooms came in, because I still to this day, if I have like a problem that I can't solve, I like will plan out a night, and I will do a nice hero dose of, depends what I want. So like, I am also a fan of acid.
Me too.
Big fan. Yeah.
So long. You can still get acid?
Don't ask me those questions. Are you a
Spider-Man?
cop?
What do you got?
Don't ask me those.
Oh my gosh.
But
Mushrooms.
But mushrooms, like if I need to like, if I have like a problem that's like more on the like sad side that I need to like solve, like a personal hurdle, it sends me through a loop. So like I'll really, really happy, everything's great. Like, oh my God, I'm a failure.
Yeah.
All these
yeah.
dark.
It gets
dark.
hard.
But then it'll kind of sit there and go like this. And then by the time it's like the next day, even throughout, I'll like, and it's good if you're like a journaler
Yep.
too. Because if you could just like write shit down, the next day you'll look at it and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But like you're gonna be like, wait, actually, because I've solved some of my like bigger problems, like going through like all of that, because like
Because you're seeing every kind of option that you have.
from like
You're seeing everything, any which way that it could go. And then hopefully at the end, you're choosing the right one that you could concentrate
I also think it's a microcosmic experience of like you can get through anything. Because like it does take you down this wild path of like potential like
if you fight through it.
Yeah,
Some
but
people don't
yeah.
fight
but
through
but
it.
I think that's the lesson.
always do.
That's the lesson. You know what I mean? That's you have to fight through it.
Maybe that's why when we were teenagers and people took it and they shouldn't have, they couldn't get past that stage and they would cry
I
and
think,
go home.
but I think that's the same reason why
they
a lot
may
of
have
people.
continued at
still happen.
home.
They might have. I don't know. I
Yeah.
wasn't dealing with them anymore.
And maybe it changed them.
I
Yeah.
wasn't going to deal with
But I
them.
think it's
No
the same
way.
reason why a lot of people stop smoking weed. Like a lot of people stop smoking weed in college because I think about this all the time. I have like a small theory to where like college is the first time you have like any level of like responsibility. And like when you're in high school, you live in your parents' house, you know, you get to college and then like, you know, you gotta graduate, you gotta get a job. There's like becomes this level. And a lot of people that we grew up with, a lot of people didn't make didn't smoke weed past that stage.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't handle that moment of like freaking the fuck out and like you know what I mean? Like couldn't handle that. So they stopped doing it and they're like, oh, I get paranoid. But I think that like everybody gets paranoid.
Yeah.
And it's part of the experience.
I do agree. And I also wonder sometimes with that is that because in college, I like a lot of times, like the first time you smoke weed is because you're trying to just get fucked up, right?
Sure.
You're drinking,
Yeah.
you're just getting fucked up. Like it's all everyone's. So you kind of just associate it with like get that time, like getting fucked up, you do go through a little bit of a, because it does make you kind of see yourself for a minute, which like, you know, it's an ego killer. And like, which is kind of what the world needs. Everybody's got, like, everyone chill with your fucking egos, because like, but I think it makes you kind of see it sometimes. And sometimes I think the self-shame we see in it is something that we need to see, because like, I'm like, you know, like, I don't know, sometimes like can come off arrogant. Like, I know I do, I have confidence, you know, whatever. So like sometimes when I'm like super high, I'm like, oh my God, everyone hates me. Like, I'm so arrogant.
I do all that shit too.
Right, we all kind of do though. And like part of me is like, maybe I'm supposed to think that so that I don't, like, I change the way so I
softer.
Yeah, like because not because I want everyone to like me, but because I want like to achieve like I have goals to achieve. Like I run events. Like I kind of need people to like me, you know? Like so like I'm always trying to make myself better.
Sure.
And that's where I think weed is different. Like I think like our problems, like it's really easy to be like, oh, like this sucks. But like, this sucks, what am I gonna do about it?
Fucking
always kind of, and I think weed kind of helps me with that, because like, yeah, okay, sometimes I go to like deep pits, but then I'm like, wow, like, I'm an arrogant, shitty person. Like, all right, so like, I think this now. Like, what am I gonna do about it? And I think that's the best thing about it.
Because you could make the case that an arrogant, shitty person wouldn't be like, I'm an arrogant, shitty person. An arrogant, shitty person would probably not have that level of reflection.
Yeah, absolutely, right.
I think.
Like, thanks for the validation there, but
Tell us about the events though. So like, you guys have been doing them since you first opened the place.
Well, so I'm not going to talk about the place, but the we've been doing events for, my husband and I, we've been doing events for 4+ years now, like ourselves. I've kind of separately and then together, we've been kind of into it. I was always like in the events, like back when that kind of all started, like 10 years ago in the city. So now I have a child, so now we're doing our own thing. But the idea was kind of to destigmatize like what it is. So like, I'm all about cannabis culture. And what cannabis culture is not sitting on your couch and smoking. I mean, sometimes it is, but like, I guess we're sitting on the couch and smoking right now, but we, like it's music, it's art, it's fashion, it's all sorts of creativity.
Philosophical discussions about being an arrogant, shitty person.
Literally. Like
community.
I mean, it's like the closest things I can find to a community. And like, so we're trying to, and what we've successfully done is like, we've curated, like I have a comedy show tomorrow, and like some of the funniest comics, like Matt Vita, who's like local, like we're all about Long Island too. Like Long Island has so many amazing, talented, creative artists. Like I'm at the point too where I'm like, fuck celebrities, fuck like all what I'm supposed to like. I'm all Rage Against the Machine. So I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to like everything that's on my phone? Fuck that. I like real people with real talent. And like we have a network of like really amazing artists. We have a show on the 25th that's going to be like a curation of a bunch of different like hip hop artists plus like musical backgrounds that are just like you would not believe. And Long Island, it's like home to it all.
Nice.
So we're literally trying, and I say all the time that I'm throwing spaghetti at the wall because like with our events, I kind of am. Like I'm just trying like anything that's like real live art, creativity, like that brings people together and is an experience is what like cannabis really should be associated with. And let me tell you, most people like leave by 10. So like, you know, like.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like they get tired, they want to go home. Yeah.
It's not, it's completely different.
And we have a little bit of an older crowd too. Like honestly, I this is where I think that if like township really wanted to like actually learn about like what cannabis culture is and like what are we actually getting ourselves into, they would find that a lot of their regular people that they deal with all the time, they're like essential workers are the predominant ones who are consuming. And like for similar reasons, right? Like, you know, I say that if I went to a psychiatrist, they would give me a laundry list of like prescriptions that I need because yeah, I've done that. And like, I find that like, yeah, you know what, maybe there's probably some things that I should probably be on, but cannabis at least makes me like aware of it. So I'm trying to make it better. So anyway, but yeah, that's where, so like our events are really just like, so I don't know, that was like the serious way of talking about the events, but we're always trying to make like, oh.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
But that's why I asked you to come on here. When you say the whole Long Island piece, like
to the back,
like that.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Cool. Thank you.
That's why I asked you to come because like that's what we're about. Like we are completely like, let's grow a community of people that we like.
Yeah.
We like to make shit with. We do podcasts, we make music, and we just do it. I mean, we've put ourselves in a situation to where we have a few other businesses that kind of, you know, make sure that we're in house and home and give us the ability to do this.
Right.
But this entire mission is that.
Yeah.
Is like, we just want to curate a group of people that are interested in just participating in the great conversation of life.
I love that. No, and honestly,
that's what it is.
That's why I kind of was like, yeah, I want to do this. 'Cause I know you guys have been around for a minute, kind of, and you're like, you dabble, like you cannabis, regular businesses, like, so that's really cool too, because that's what I think people need to like also understand, like that it's like cannabis is just another business.
Yeah.
Like you need to know that it's not, we're not some like, you know, I don't know what people think, because like we're just business people. Like, I don't know.
Well, I think there's a lot of regular businesses that like are afraid of associating with that.
Absolutely.
But it's just going to become so much more and more common, you know, and it's like, that's a thing you want to be on the forefront of, you know?
I think it's not even just cannabis. It's like, even like what you're talking about like creative culture and creatives and content creators and people that want to be artists. Like up until now, up until this thing, like you had to have a relationship and you couldn't get in the door unless you were, you know, in that. And I think now everybody can do it, but what I still think that there's a huge missing piece of is that there's still not a good enough. Like I think 20 years from now, there's going to be tens of thousands of small media companies that produce their own individual content.
Absolutely.
Because why wouldn't you? You
Why
know
not?
what I mean? Like why? Like you don't have to be the $400 billion one. You could easily be the $4.75 million one that found its niche, and you make, you know, X amount of percentage on what you do. And like I still believe that that's a huge hole in this world, and like there's so much opportunity, but you got to know how to be a business person.
Absolutely.
And business is a different sport that combines with whatever, you know, your thing is.
Yeah.
And portable phones used to be a luxury.
Yeah.
They were in the
Car phone.
Mercedes car phones. And they were fucking boxes.
Now they're a fucking now they're an Adderall prescription for $215 a month or whatever it costs.
Oh, that sounds expensive.
I have no idea what
It's one of the most expensive things I own is this phone.
Yeah, right? That's like my most luxurious product.
100%.
Yeah, no. Oh, you had me on something and then I just kind of lost my train of thought.
Sorry,
with the
that was my
phones.
fault.
No, it's who I am
kid.
at this point.
I think with the events though, it's like people are lonely, you know, and they want to create like a community. It's the same thing with the phone. They just figured out how to do it at scale, you know?
So my concern is, oh yeah, sure. Why the hell not?
She's not gonna say no.
I'll never say no. I literally, please, sorry, John. He knows.
We don't wanna be pressured.
This is why he married me. I'm like, yeah, please. He can.
Your husband's name is John.
Oh yeah. Oh, I thought you were.
What are you apologizing to me for?
You were trying to say something.
Oh, no, I forgot. So you now,
We all-
that's like 52nd time.
Nowadays,
Someone's
make you
forgot because
forget.
Kurt's trying to fucking pour another shot of fucking THC water.
THC water. Thank you.
How much
Thank
does
you,
it cost?
sir.
A lot.
Yeah?
Yeah?
Like what?
I
think it was like $80.
$80?
What?
Oh, wow. That's
Wow,
a
this
lot.
is fancy. Luxurious
Luxurious.
product.
It's mostly the bottle, probably.
Yeah, put it in a fucking fancy bottle, slap the label on, it's $80.
That's a Casamigos bottle.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Cloudiness. That's the.
When
that's what's in.
I opened it, it had my name on it, and I was like, oh, what, somebody got me a fucking
Whoa.
bottle of tequila? I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, you know what this is? He's like, yeah, I ordered it.
Something that blows my mind about like a bottle is like that's a real serious like,
It's a nice bottle.
and it's just garbage.
Probably costs
eventually.
more than the product.
Yeah, like the container is like it's gonna get thrown away.
But
It's pretty wild if you think about it.
Put flowers in it.
but see, quality,
Put
right?
flowers in it.
Back to
Or melt
quality
it
and
and make
luxury.
something else.
That's just style.
Yeah, just melt it.
Make it an ashtray.
Yeah, but think about it, just like as a thing.
I understand.
It's a pretty
I think about it
serious
every day
thing.
when you're throwing away all your cans and bottles every 5 seconds.
Fucked up.
Because we overconsume. Like, okay, so actually, this is a great little segue because what I was going to say is that I feel like we're always living in WALL-E. And like the Disney movie for children,
100%.
my 3-year-old does not understand that movie in any way. And it took me like a couple times to watch it to
3-year-old
like, no, it's not for them. No. But like, yeah, overconsumption, like literally it's a world, it's our earth covered in garbage because we did not stop like consuming and consuming. And WALL-E is the first generation of robots looking for life, but he died, so they had to send Eve, you know, the other one. But you're saying like people are lonely. I think that there's a true like, I mean, I'm sure
Should
if you
have
look
her
on
on Vitruvian 5000. She gets deep.
Oh, I get deep.
I like it.
But they people are there's like a lonely epidemic. Like people are like record low.
Sure.
Like I've read this. I have no sources, but they
because everybody's like this.
But I also think and I also think that now there's like this and this is my conspiracy too, but it's this conditioning to like keep you home. Like we all went through COVID, great, and now there's like that already like PTSD, right? Because now everyone's like, oh my God, like the world just shut down, like we gotta kind of stay home anyway.
Yeah.
And then they're convincing you constantly like to stay home. Long Island has no clubs.
No.
Clubs don't exist anymore.
Yeah, no.
So like forget about like dancing or moving or like actually like getting going. Like that was the healthy part of Coke, you know?
Get a little exercise.
Yeah.
You notice there's nothing.
Dancing on Coke is
either.
fucking great.
Nothing
It's
for kids.
great.
There's
There's
not,
a lot of things, not as many. There's very few things that are as good. Yeah, it's hitting. Nowadays, it's hitting. Very few things as good as dancing on cocaine.
I've never tried it. It's one of the only things I've never tried. That's what you keep on
Good
talking
for
about.
you.
It's too late now.
Good for
It's
you.
too
It's
late
the
now.
only thing.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
Yeah, there's just
but
a
it's just-
lack of spaces like that for all ages.
But on purpose.
Pickleball.
You think
courts,
so?
maybe.
Yeah, they don't
I
want
don't.
that.
I don't. I mean, I go back and forth between conspiracy and
There's nowhere to go.
I think there's a level of its human nature. Like we are little fucking eater ants.
But we're also
That's what
like we're eater ants because we go out to eat. That's the only thing we go out for anymore.
We just consume. That's what we do.
Exactly. There's
Yeah,
nothing
right.
else to do.
But we
consume.
used to, and I think that like it's a little bit of conditioning though, because
Yeah,
like
for
you
sure.
have this, so you have your source of entertainment. Like you don't need to go out; you can see what everyone's doing.
Sure.
You used to go out, like when we were younger, we would go out and like to find your friends.
You would actually want
like,
to see people.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, like what are they doing? And like the only everyone had FOMO. Now you have FOMO and you like feel like you can get it by looking at
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Well, there used to be the phrase. It was like there's a whole world out there. Go and see it. But now you could see it in your fucking bedroom.
You can see it. You can't experience it. You can't feel it.
Yeah.
You can just see it. And I can't imagine like how do you expect to not be lonely if like humans need connection, you know? Like we're like speaking. Look at us. We're like in a room speaking. This is like and why do people watch this though? Because they watch people have a connection.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So like and that should like that in itself. I've like been like, okay, like it's like you're hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Right.
That is. That's why it's been so successful. Long form conversations. Is it's as real as it gets.
Yeah.
Up till now, but I mean, maybe these.
But it's
things are-
rebellious to go out, you know? It's like
Yeah.
rebellious to like go out and like have an experience, like go to a comedy show, like go dance.
But what if
you know,
these
maybe don't do
things
the
are
coke,
just going to
but-
rewire us? Don't do coke at home.
Go
Yeah.
dance.
I mean, maybe try it once or twice if you don't have like a serious
No, you know
addictive
what?
personality.
I think there should be an age restriction.
My
Life is about
worry-
experiencing things.
I love.
Don't
should've
make
said
this a clip.
Don't make this
This
part
is
of
only
it.
for the real
hate when
fans.
people say
I know.
You
I have
can't
so
have me
many
saying,
clips.
yeah, try cocaine.
Actually,
Do it.
trust me, there's plenty of clips. I got them all in my head already.
All right. What are we cutting out?
Well. So I think okay. As much as I like, I love a little. I loved past tense a little coke night, but now fentanyl is actually a real problem. Like, and I've had a friend that died from this.
Oh yeah.
That's why I kind of I talked about it before in weed as a joke, but like this is real like in drugs because it's white and fluffy and it's cheap and it comes directly from the hospitals. That's gonna I don't like I've been in a hospital setting where I've overheard like a nurse be like, "Oh, do you want like should we give him morphine?" And the doctor was like, "No, that's too hard." He was like, "Oh, so we should give him fentanyl?" And he was like, "No, that's too hard." So fentanyl is very available and it comes from the medical system and it's white and it's fluffy and it looks very similar to cocaine. And Oceanside, oh my God, like I know somebody who went away for pill pressing and like cutting it with cheap shit and killed somebody. And like, so that's like, as much as I love a good, as I loved a little coke night.
Yeah. No, it's not sustainable. It's not good.
I had a friend who he was a fantastic human being. Like him and I would meet up in Bryant Park, smoke weed, take the train home together, and we would go to like music shows here and there. And he went to a show and took something, and it was like a party drug. Like he's not a drug addict. He just took like a little party drug, and made it all the way home, fell asleep, didn't wake up. And like that's real danger that Long Island has.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we talk about cannabis. Like cannabis is like what in my experience, I've talked about this before.
that
like,
doesn't happen.
But
Ever.
People moving away from lives like that, like
Yeah.
maybe they like, you know, they used to drink a lot, they used to party a lot, they used to do a lot of coke, and now you don't just let go of a vice, you know. Like I've always like kind of had a an itch for a vice. Like I get that addictive personality. So you have to fulfill it somehow. And mine is weed, and it's not going to harm anybody. I'm not going to come home and beat my husband. I'm not going to come home and like, because I'm high, like you would drunk maybe. But
like you said, there's this like stigma to this thing that's just so not true. And it's like the inside joke of the people who have done it for forever is that it's like, yeah, I'm going to get hungry. I'm going to fall asleep. I'm going to
laugh.
Yeah, I'm going to laugh my balls off. You know, I'm going to watch a lot of TV. Those are all pretty okay things.
When you stack them up side by side with the other stuff, it's very hard to argue.
Pros and cons list.
I've got a good story too. Is like the first time I was at that Blue Point 420 thing, and this is like self-admittedly, I don't drink anymore. I haven't drank for 3 years, but like I used to drink and drive all the fucking time, and it was sad and it was terrible. But the first time the highest I got was at that Blue Point 420 thing.
When we did the show?
No, this was after we did the show there. And
the same night though.
I had to call my wife to pick me up.
I've had
I would not call my wife to pick me up like fucking drunk out of my mind. Right. Because I was afraid. And I felt okay enough to call this woman, and I'm like, you gotta pick me up. I'm fucking freaking out.
Not only do I need you, I need your help.
Oh my God.
And that's just like a great like story,
Thank you so much. Yeah.
And then she got there. I was like, it's amazing that you're here right now. Like I wasn't afraid or anything,
It's amazing you got here.
Like we stop at fucking McDonald's on the way home, We made a whole night of it.
Yeah, but I think if you run the numbers on like the amount of fatal car crashes or even car crashes related to weed, it's probably nothing.
It's fucking hard to crash when you're going 5 miles an hour.
And you're focused. You're completely like smelling the paint on the Chevy next to you.
You're waiting at stop signs. You're like waiting for the stop sign to turn.
He never made it out of first gear. He was always in first gear. I'm like, we're going too slow, man. And I remember he would just pull it back in 2. And we would just sit in 2. And he's like, this is the way you're supposed to drive. He's like, we're just chilling.
All of a sudden, you know all the rules.
No, we're chilling.
You're looking in the fucking mirrors and shit.
It's true.
Checking everything, super aware.
Yeah.
It's crazy though. I mean, because the thing that's most acceptable makes people fucking crazy, and it's straight poison.
Destroys lives.
I'd actually even argue that in my own professional experience, we used to do events at a brewery, and like a place that like it doesn't happen anymore, but people would drink and smoke.
Yeah.
And I would literally say from my own experience, I've watched people be so much more responsible, because now you have let's say I remember there's a group of women that comes to mind immediately, and half of them smoked and didn't really drink, and the other half drank, didn't really smoke. And so they would all kind of just be like, all right, you're planning to get a little fucked up tonight. To each other. It was and so they already had pre-planned how they were going to go home. Right. They were already this was part of the night of going out. They were more planning or organized about it. And so and I've seen that so many times. Yeah, and cool. We have, especially when we're at the brewery, we have never had an issue. That's great. And I literally can argue everything that the dangers of consumption is I can toss it out. I feel comfortable enough to just be no, and this is why. Yeah. No, but cannabis is.
I feel like too, I didn't really drink and drive, but I have. But I also feel like when you are super high, the last thing you want to do is drive a car. Anyway. Sure. So it's kind of like
what the fuck?
I know all
but sometimes you have to.
Well, I'm saying, but when you're drunk and you're at a bar, plenty of people have been like, I got work tomorrow, I got to get home. They get that anger stage. But when you're super high, you get that I don't think I could leave yet. Hang out. I don't know if I should really drive.
I'm gonna wait a little.
I'm gonna wait a minute.
Get some snacks.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you end up talking for 45 minutes, and then you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally. It's true. And I mean, not for nothing. That's I don't like to shit on other things to prove my point. But I have been at breweries and watched people down a couple beers and then get in the car with their children.
And I'm weird that you could bring children.
The fuck?
Yeah, it's weird.
What?
I used to work for Greenport, and I would go there on Saturdays, and the amount of fucking kids
I don't understand.
It was like a babysitting situation.
I would never bring my kid to a brewery.
It was crazy.
If it's outdoors, I get it. again, I don't really care. Like, I have a 3-year-old who, like, you know, like, it would be cool to, like, sit here and be like, oh, like, I can bring my kid to it. But, like, that seems like, I don't know, that's an adult situation, you know?
The point
like,
is to not have your kids there. So you can have an adult conversation.
Well, I kind of like relate that to like the modern world of like when parents take their kids trick or treating, and now everybody has like a thermos full of drinks and beer. And
that's
like,
wild.
Yeah, but that's different because that's the parents making the kid day, getting through it by themselves.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that that's new.
Oh, it's the reverse?
That's new.
That's a good point.
It's new, just like fucking the kids going to breweries. Like our parents didn't do that. Like we didn't go trick or treat with our parents where they have a thermos full of fucking, you know, a screwdriver and a thermos.
Shit.
A thermos. I'm dating myself.
Thermos.
Remember those?
I love those.
No, that's the other thing. We didn't hang out with our parents. Now everybody's bringing their
Yeah.
kids and dogs everywhere.
Yeah, right.
The world is changing, man.
Listen, when I go trick-or-treating with my kid, I'm high as shit, so I'm not gonna lie.
You have to be.
So like, so like I get the thermos parents, like I get it, but like I think it's like, you know, like, okay, like if I have to be like hush hush about like how stoned I am, like, you know, like we should all be putting on the same act, like I don't know, like.
No, but like you said, like I'm like, when I really think deeply about like whether or not you should, like, I don't think I really fucking care. But,
I don't think I care.
But like objectively, I'm just noticing the cultural shifts and changes and the things that people are doing, just like what you're talking about kids going to breweries. That wasn't a thing. Now it's a thing. You know what I mean? Like so many things weren't a thing.
Sure.
Now it's a thing, and it just keeps going.
That's human nature. It's just like ever evolving of like things and fads and trends and just like that's why like the humans are so interesting to me because we have like brains that are like supposed to be our like creative thoughts, but they're also so self-destructing.
Oh, it's like the most flawed thing ever created with your brain.
We're silly animals. Yeah. We're silly animals. Yeah.
Is it the conditioning or is it the capacity? I mean, that's really like I think what we're playing with now.
I don't think our brains are used to moving at this level.
No,
you know?
this is way, like the evolutionary like score on this guy is way higher than the evolutionary score on this guy. But I potentially think that the capacity that we have is much greater than what we really understand because we haven't socialized ourselves. And I think this is the evolutionary tipping point. Like this is teaching us.
You're staring at me and I'm confused.
No, but like, all right. So give me an example.
I know what you're trying to say.
You're like
wellness movements, craft movements, like what you're saying about how like people are thinking rebelliously about being together in person. Like this is creating digital communities, but it's like kind of putting people like, hey, we can prioritize different stuff. We could think about things differently other than just like, all right, work, make as much money as you can, make sure you have health insurance, retire and die. Like there's other ways to approach life. And I think this is helping people kind of.
It's a great tool.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I think you're right, because it's like helped humans evolve past like go to work, die. Like, and okay.
Yeah, which I think we're collective agreement that there's obviously more to life than that.
Well, I think that there's only a very small subset of people that realize that. And then you have the people who are being born into it who are fucked.
Well,
fucked.
You know, so like there's people around our age who lived in both sides of it who can see this as like, wow, this is a pretty fucking powerful tool, but also a little dangerous also.
Definitely.
Well,
you know?
I can't say I'm first generation American, and my family is from Spain, and like it's funny because I always heard my dad growing up. My dad's an interesting case, but he was always like, oh, like the Spanish people are so lazy. They just want to like chill and like, you know, drink their like they have 2-hour siestas every day. Everything shuts down for 2 hours in the middle of the day, and I can't help but think like this is like what we're talking about is the American way.
Yeah.
Like we're like, oh, like people are learning to be more into wellness, and a part of me wonders if it's like, wonders if like, and it's funny because here I am like in media, and I'm sitting here like, wonder if our solution is just if it all fucking goes away, because like I'm always like, wait till the internet crashes, like, like I spent every single summer in Spain growing up. Like like my parents just shipped me there for all summer. I have a ton of family over there, and that's like main transportation is tractor and donkey. It is like dirt roads. Like it's
old world.
It's old world, and like I don't like Spanish are a little rude. Sorry, Spanish, but they are. So they say the French. Nah, I say the Spanish, but French
are rude.
Yeah, Spanish are pretty rude, but they are. I don't know, the quality of life over there is not the richest. Like people over there do not have like they don't have money like that. Nobody has like fuck you money. But everybody just kind of like, it's like a day-to-day like chill. Like, what are we doing today? Like, oh, do you want to go for lunch? Do you want to like go to this party later? Like, and it's this
much more human.
Yeah. And they value like, it's big over there. Talking about children though, over there it's like La Plaza, and they have like, it's like a bar that like has like seating, like this is where I'm from, but they have it all over Spain. And it's like a bar outside, but like it's in this giant like
town square.
Pretty much.
Where everybody goes. And everybody knows each other.
Everybody knows each other. You go and you drink and you sit down, and the kids have a park over there. So like you can see the children, but like they're not sitting here like drinking with you. And like everybody has their like space, and it's just more of like, it's communal, but it's together, it's connection, it's community. And
it's
like
very different.
And that's why this is like, it convinces us that we're becoming more worldly, but like further apart.
Well, we moved away. I mean, like, you know, the American story is that we moved away from that. Because we were like,
you can see it in different states though too.
No, but what she's talking about,
I understand.
What she's talking about is almost non-existent here.
I get that.
There were like American communities, I think, like neighborhoods, but neighborhoods were really just recreation of what she's talking about.
Yeah.
Neighborhoods really were like all the Italians moved to Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, and all the people that lived on those 7 blocks, they just recreated their life that they had in Italy because they just got here. So this is and that's where that comes from. But American culturally is not that.
Right.
Well, because culturally, America's everything.
Yeah.
So it became hustle culture.
Yeah.
America is the white picket fence.
Which I'm not against. I think it's good, but I also think it's out of balance. It's out of balance.
Yeah.
Because it's too extreme.
And that's where corporations came in. And it's funny, my joke, so I always like go play the New York Lotto. This is like when I'll put like $3 to the New York Lotto. And every single time the guy at the counter is like, oh, like the Powerball is like $438 million. And I'm like, I don't need that much.
Right.
Like, I only need 3.
Also another huge scam, but yes.
Yeah, like, right. And please, I don't play that often, let me tell you. But like, you know.
I'd take 438, like no problem.
Yeah, well,
I mean, sure, we all would. But like.
3 would be sick.
Yeah, but 3 would be dope. Yeah.
Your odds are probably better. Also.
Yeah, that's what I say. The odds are better. Everyone's going for the So that's why. Fuck you. Don't do it.
Keep playing the Powerball and the Mega Millions.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
But I think what you keep saying. You know, I'm in media, so I shouldn't say this. But I think that the people like you and us that get it see that there's a good that you can use it for.
Yeah.
And it's to get back to that.
Yeah.
Like the experiences, the events, bring people together, educate people, you know.
Absolutely. Convince you to like do things.
Well, if you start out with the desire of really making connections, making people feel good, sharing stories, creating stuff, if that's really the intention, it's hard to go wrong. When the intention is, I want to be famous. When the intention is, I want clout. When the intention is, I want everybody to love me because I don't feel good about myself. And there's a little bit of that shit inside of anybody who has the inspiration to do this. But the connection and the storytelling and the community has to weigh more than that stuff.
Absolutely.
I think.
No, 100%. It's funny because this has been something I've been like a little mad about lately because cannabis industry it's very much, a lot of people saw like cannabis, new industry, like we're going to, like they're going to be the trailblazers and like, cause they thought they were going to get rich quick. Right. And like, I don't know.
Gold rush.
Literally, it was literally a gold rush. And it's not. It's so complicated, and there's so much fight here, and like, cause still, like, okay, it's legal. It's not. Like, you know, it's not. Come on, and it's. So the only people who are going to be able to move that forward are people who like actually wanted to. It's not going to be money making.
Yeah, sure.
Like, you know, it's not. You
gotta
can't
really care about it.
Yeah. Right. You have to like you can't convincing township to opt in is not going to make you money. Right. You know, like that's not. You know, so I don't know. You know, you're right, because if your goal is to be like ego or to be famous or to whatever, like. I don't know. I mean, I guess it happens. I've seen people become famous. I guess they get that's the intention.
Yeah.
That's what I'm interested about, the dispensary model in and of itself. Because obviously the one place opened up and you hear the numbers of like millions of dollars they were making a week. I'm interested, like, what are they doing to help the industry after that? Like, what are they doing with that? Or do they care? You know? Because that's eventually just gonna, like, people see through that, you know?
I mean, it's like, you know, okay, actually, my biggest gripe is the fucking MTA. Because sorry, total opposite sides here. But like, yeah, we're talking about community. But like, what are they doing for the community? Nothing. I'll tell you that. Nothing. I don't know. I don't know specifically about like where you went, but like, I question all the time where all of this money goes.
Yeah.
Because like, and like I just saw the congestion pricing thing, and not that I'm like trying to talk about topics, but like, the MTA, who owns the train system, instead of making the train system so much better, like, right, like as a business, right, as a small business person, if I'm not making money, I gotta like get better. Yeah, because it's not like I can just like take out everybody and then like, so they have to come to me.
Yeah, because if you're not making money, you're only gonna last for so long. You're gonna be gone. You have to go get a job.
Right, exactly. So I have to consistently be making myself better so that people come to me. The MTA, instead of like why don't people take subways in the LIRR? Because it's not safe. It's not like
not convenient.
It's not on time. You don't know what to expect. It breaks down. There's nonsense.
Like piss.
Yeah.
Smells. And
people sleeping on it.
Instead of
I think the number one reason is because it's just not convenient. It's not like transportation and that type of thing has to be convenient in order for it to be accessed by people.
But like, so you want to, you're right. So New York City, so now the subway system sucks. And if you drive in, you also have a congestion pricing. So like they want you to rely on something that doesn't suck. But the reason you don't take it in the first place, because like if the trains ran perfectly, you would be like, oh, I'm just going to take the train. It's so much easier. I'm not going to drive. That's what we all used to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. The congestion pricing, I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
But that's what it's for. It's not because they think they're going to make this obscene amount of money from it. Sure, they're going to make money.
They think they're going to discourage people to come?
They're going to discourage people to drive and have to use public transportation.
With the thought process of revamping public transportation?
Well, you would think.
But who knows what they're supposed to like be making like $50 million I don't know. I don't know what the statistic was. It was a ridiculous amount of money that they were going to be like potentially making from this.
Yeah.
And do you think that they would use that money to like make the subways more reliable? Absolutely fucking not.
Right.
Like
that's just like the lottery money was supposed to go into the school system. It's not going into the school system. The schools are getting worse.
But also it's not the regular commuter that they're trying to hit with that. It's businesses. It's like people who are commercial that's going in there. They're getting whacked like crazy.
Well, and I actually kind of like, I think it's more like a hit on like blue collar workers.
It is for sure. It is for sure. But like the behind the scenes thing is that like, you've got a catering company and you've got 25 times you're going in and out of some wedding thing or whatever it is. They're killing those people too. Yeah. But you're right. It is more than anything. It's like now, and they're being forced back to a shitty public transportation system.
Which what I think is totally wild, like total side note, is that a couple days before they like implemented this, Kathy Hochul went on and was did a whole like thing like, look, the New York subways are safe, like, and with her like 10-person like team, entourage.
Yeah.
And then like I can't remember if it was the day of or the next day, but that woman was set on fire.
Yeah.
So like, and
that
I was
crazy.
So weird.
And I was like, it's safe. No, it's not. Don't drive in. Take the subway. Yeah. I have not taken trains in years because I'm a paranoid motherfucker.
I've taken the subway a long time.
It's all the weed.
I've always thought about like,
I think too much about the public.
I get it.
The MTA and like the Long Island Railroad used to cry poverty before COVID. I say this all the time. But those parking lots were always full. They were always jacking up the price of the tickets, the monthly tickets, the people. They were banging those people over the head.
It's because it's going to the top 3 dogs.
But it's like now, though, those parking lots are still empty. Like, still. Like the one in my town in Sayville, there's probably a third of the cars in there.
Really?
How the fuck are they alive? If they were so poor before, like, where are they getting money from?
Because the government, the people
bailing them out.
The people, that run that town are the most powerful people on earth.
Yeah,
like
right.
There's more money in that. I mean, you could argue Silicon Valley, but I mean, like,
New York City.
New York City. There's more money moving through that little tiny spot than anywhere on earth.
Absolutely.
So like they got the bread to keep it alive for as long as they want to.
Yeah.
Until they figure out the next spin.
Gotta get out of here.
Gotta get out of here.
Where we go?
Or make it better.
Gotta get out of here.
I want to go to North Carolina.
There's a lot of people in North Carolina right now.
From here. Also.
From here, right. Yeah. I know. I used to want to go to Florida.
Oceanside is now in North Carolina.
Damn. No, I'm trying to leave that.
They're fighting outside of a pizza place in North Carolina now.
5 o'clock.
But the pizza's fucking terrible.
I'm gonna whoop your ass, you fucking hillbilly.
It's called Long Island Pizza.
Yeah, exactly. But it's Elio's that they're serving.
Because of the water.
Listen up, Jethro. You're gonna catch a fucking Long Island beatdown.
Oh no. Oh, I can talk conspiracies all day, but yeah, no. Actually, the MTA, one time, okay, so they have like the ticket and you're supposed to activate it on like your mobile ticket.
Yep.
And you're supposed to activate it before you get on the train. I never do because again, it's rage against the machine. You can't tell me what to do because I'll just do the opposite. And it's getting
hot.
Oh, it's getting hot.
We're all sweating and the camera.
It's also sweating.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, but
MTA.
the MTA. So I would always activate my ticket because I'd literally wait until the guy came
right in front of you.
Yeah, and then I'd be like, oh, okay, activate it. But I also thought like maybe he wanted to see it, like just to know like that I'm activating it. I don't know. So whatever. I get an email one time from the MTA and it's like, we are not tracking you, but we see that you are activating your ticket on the train. If you continue to do this, you'll lose like you'll lose access to your mobile ticket. And I responded back because I'm just like, oh, you're not tracking me. So how the fuck do you know that?
How could they say
We
that?
are not tracking you, but we are tracking you.
I hate that. I'm never
Wink,
taking-
wink.
Never taking the fucking.
Imagine there was a wink in that email, like,
I'm never taking.
we're not tracking you.
I'm never taking the train again.
Oh wait, I want to see if I can find that exact one. Oh my god, it was a crazy email, and I was like,
I
oh
want
my
you to
god.
curate a weed experience for us.
Oh, I do it every fucking day.
That's what we talk about that shit all the time. Like I think that's one of the best fucking things. It's like you go to a place and they do coffee, and the guy runs you through. This is the kind of coffee. This is this is what it goes good with everything, with wine, with whiskey.
No, I'm saying asking her to do that with weed.
That's what she does.
So actually, we're planning one right now. It's a pheno hunt. So talk about like the genetics and like weed. Okay, so for example, a cannabis plant is a genetics of some. It was breed from some sort. It could be from a seed or from a clone, whichever. But you have like genetics A and genetics B. Let's just A and B. The plants had sex, and now you have, that's what makes up the genetics that you have. So that's why people say like sour diesel and stuff, like sour diesel doesn't really exist anymore because it's been like rebred for years and years and years. So a true like strain of it, like unless somebody like had it frozen in a cellar somewhere,
Right.
like, yeah, right. So phenos are, so let's say now you have two genetics that you're trying to like reproduce. So they both have the same genetics. I compare it to parents. So imagine you had 11 kids. They're all still like, and they're both same parents. All 11 children are
baby mama?
same DNA, but not like they're all wildly different, right?
Okay.
So like you're gonna have a tall one, you might have a short one, you might have a curly-headed one, you might have a little bit of a smart, maybe not, and you have a variety, genetics. So we're doing with a grower, they're like, and some of like master breeders, they really want like public opinion on like what they should like continue running. So we're kind of planning the idea that they're trying to find their favorite phenos. So they're literally choosing their favorite kid and taking that kid's DNA and then running that. So what we're doing is we're getting a couple of them and people are going to vote. And so you'll smoke it, you'll try it, and we'll run you through it. Like these are the notes, these are, it's a little bit more of a head high. It has a flavor profile of this.
That's awesome.
And then you'll vote on what your favorite of the three was, like for example. So that's like something we're doing right now. But we would love, listen, I'm always like, especially with the space, like I'm always throwing spaghetti at the wall.
Yeah, let us know,
Yeah.
man.
That's cool.
We want to check it out.
Yeah. Oh, please come by anytime.
That sounds like the advanced class, though.
Well, it's just, to you, it would just be like smoking. And you'd be like, which one I like the best? This one. Okay, what would you name it?
Okay.
Like, I don't know.
That's
like,
cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's cool.
That's cool.
So, but yeah, we're doing a comedy show tomorrow.
That's cool.
Yeah. Come.
Where is
check
it?
it out.
Oceanside.
Okay.
Oh no, they fight by the pizza place there. I'm not going there.
Oh, we're like
And I love
good luck
pizza.
finding us. Like we have to you have like directions to find us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it like
Keep
warehouse?
it that way.
Yeah.
Like a
yeah.
secret?
Yeah. Yep.
Nice.
It's like an industrial area. Sorry, we're not bothering anybody. I know our neighbors are great. Like it's
cool.
true speakeasy. You're like, where the fuck am I going? And then you're like, oh my god, because we have a very I like to keep this kind of like separate because for reasons, but like the vibe that we have is very like old New York. So it's all secondhand furniture, and my husband and I, we like estate sale hunted. So every single piece of furniture in there is like from an
I
amazing
saw
house
the
on
clip
Long
of that
Island.
black comedian who was making that joke. That was hysterical.
I
He's like, you gotta
loved
be
it.
careful if you're playing
I was like, oh my god.
like a black person in an environment like this, all these chairs and shit.
He's like, we went too far. When he said that, oh my god, Jamel.
It was a very
That's
funny.
hysterical.
It was a good clip.
Well, right, because it's like super old in there and like on purpose, but it's like really a nostalgic, like nice old New York speakeasy
But I thought that
feel.
was cool because like what I thought specifically about that clip was like that was like an authentic moment that happened at your place. He obviously didn't fucking rehearse that.
No,
like
yeah.
he was having a moment in your place because it has a vibe and that was like, you know, that was it. That was the thing. It was awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. I was like really kind of glad that happened. Like, what a good joke. Like,
Yeah,
like,
that's good.
That's cool.
yeah, but yeah, you guys should definitely come by.
Yeah, we gotta check it
will,
out.
we will,
Yeah,
we
gotta check it out.
We around. Yeah,
I'm not driving.
we're trying.
I'm not driving.
Me neither.
Passenger princess.
I got one thing.
Call me whatever you want.
Well, listen, thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for coming.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
this is
guys.
great.
You
Thank
enjoyed
you.
yourself.
Thank you.
No, this is fun. I'm glad.
Awesome.
This is sorry I'm always late, but it's kind of the person I am. Spanish time.